It's been very interesting these past several days on this 21-day inner balance exercise. My inner balance has been tested for sure. Welcome to day 16, 17, 18, 19. Yep, 4 days. And I've had several days without internet. I've had a travel day. I've had a day where I found myself in urgent care because guess what? My trigger finger got enacted. So that was painful and not fun. And then I've been teaching for the past couple of days. That's been fun. And I have lots of videos from those classes. So I think I'm going to post a few clips of those later on. But what does this have to do with the inner balance journey? What does all of this stuff have to do with the justice card? So I've been continuing my inner balance exercises. One day was a total travel day from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. I traveled the whole time. Now, granted, there's some time changes in there, but it was still like 12 hours of travel going from one coast to the other. The inner balance was definitely worked on. Sitting in the plane for several hours, waiting for different things, watching delays. I spent time finding my balance. I spent time asking for guidance. I flew an airline I'd never flown before, so I didn't know what to expect. And they were lovely. Alaska Air's was absolutely lovely. And I got a free upgrade, so that was really fun. But the inner balance part was not feeling myself. And actually, my trigger finger blew up during the flight, and I was in intense amounts of pain. Pressure in the cabin changed, and it just caused every ache and pain to swell terribly. And so I spent time closing my eyes, breathing, meditating, letting things go because I was in a position where I couldn't even reach my painkillers because they were in my checked bag, and dumb on my part. And I couldn't record a new video because I'm in a plane full of a bunch of people, and wouldn't that be annoying? And so I read through my classes, and I just focused on releasing the pain. And I thought once I landed and got back and got my painkillers, it would all be fine. But it wasn't. It was not fine. I didn't sleep at all that night. And I took myself to urgent care the next morning. But here's where the inner balance came in. The inner balance came in because instead of trying to just bear the pain and tough it out like the tough girl I am, I asked for help. And I told people about my struggles. I didn't hide it and pretend I was strong and nothing was wrong. I said, I'm not okay today. And that's a part of inner balance, to say when you're okay and when you're not okay. And it was a tough go. And so I didn't wait for anybody. I got up. I looked up where urgent care was. There was one just a half mile from the hotel I'm staying in. I walked my butt over there. So I thought I was going to be first in line, but I was like eighth in line. And just said, okay, if I'm late for the class, I'm late for the class that I'm teaching. I need to take care of me. And that's part of the inner balance. I couldn't thug it out. I was not going to thug it out and pretend I wasn't okay when I was cringing every time I moved my finger. And let me tell you what else happened after that. I ran into a friend, Mortellis, who is an amazing medium. She has got so many, you should look her up. She's got classes, she's got some Patreons. And when I saw her and she said, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm kind of okay, but I'm kind of not. And I showed her my finger and she's like, oh, can I look at it for you? Because she actually has a lot of skills in this. And she does do diagnostic work, and she helped me, and she gave me a lidocaine patch, and she told me what PT to do to work on this, and it 100% helped. So I asked for help. I don't normally ask for help. And that's part of this inner balance journey, to say, when do I ask for help? When do I thug it out? And I just wasn't going to anymore. That's my old way of being. My new way of being is talk about it. I talked about it in the classes, and the other people in the class said, oh, I've got a trigger finger too, and this is what I do. So I got a lot of assistance while I was teaching other people. This is new, to ask for help and say, I'm not okay. And ask for real help, not like, but ask for real help. I need help with this and I'm not sure what to do. And getting that help, it's incomplete. I mean, the urgent care was totally incomplete. They gave me a shot for steroids, but they didn't tell me to ice it or anything like that. So I looked that up and did that myself. And I went into a restaurant for lunch after I taught my class, and I was talking to the waiter who was waiting on me, and I said, yeah, I have this bum finger here. And I showed him. It was super swollen at that time. He's like, oh my gosh. And so I said, can I just get some ice and a napkin? Because they have cloth napkins. I just want to ice my hand, and I didn't have the stuff. So he came back with a rubber glove filled with ice, which was hilarious. It was like I was holding hands with a bag of ice. It was exactly what I needed. And then he has this amazing spinach risotto that I said I could just eat every day for the rest of my life. And he gave me an extra serving for later because he knew I was stuck in the hotel. But this is me asking for help. And when you ask for help in an honest way, it shows up. And this is my lesson for inner balance. And it's funny, the days before I got on the airplane where I had no internet connection is crazy because everyone else had internet connection but me. My computer wouldn't connect, my phone wouldn't connect, and all this technology was going wrong for me. And then I leaned back. I was getting really freaked out. And I leaned back and I said, what's my message here? My message here was to stop working, to relax, to get ready, to read through my classes. And honestly, I took a couple of days off. So that was me being told by the universe, you need help. So I did it. This inner balance journey and all these exercises that I'm doing, meditating, going back to my touchstone, has allowed me to stop and pay attention to what's going on around me. Even this weekend, I stopped and I paid attention to all the people around me. And I said, you're here, you're here, you're here. Because normally in situations like this, when I'm teaching and there's 700 people here, and I kind of get blinders on because I'm a little overwhelmed. But I'm taking a minute, getting grounded, paying attention to the people around me, noticing the cool stuff that they're wearing, great styles, how they're helping each other. This is the sacred space between the World's Conference, and they have rules of hospitality. And I'm watching all these people live hospitality. And hey, listen, if you have a chance to get to the Sacred Space Conference or Between the Worlds or this joint one that they're doing right now, it's definitely worth your time. And let's see how I can get back on track these next couple of days and get the last couple of days of this 21-day inner balance exercise out there and share with you what's going on. Because it certainly is the challenge. I'm finding this second half of this 21-day journey to be challenging. And why is it challenging? Because this is when it becomes real. It's not just a practice I'm doing for a minute because it's kind of cool, but it is now integrating into my life. And that's what happens when you do something for 21 days. The second half is the hardest because you got to keep going. And although I can't light candles in the hotel, I can visualize it in my head. I can smell it. I can understand that this is still my touchstone. And I just pull out the justice card and I look at that and go, yep, this is the balance I'm reaching for. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow because I have internet and it's okay. And we'll go from there. And I'll tell you how the third class that I'm teaching is going. So I'll talk to you later.